You need to hear this. Imagine the Cretaceous ocean, a place so alien it feels like another planet. And at its heart, Mosasaurs, giants that ruled the seas with an iron fist. One of these apex predators, Tylosaurus, could grow up to 17 meters, 56 feet, long, making it one of the largest mosasaur species and a formidable hunter in late Cretaceous waters. Subject: the Cretaceous ocean ruled by 20-foot Tylosaurus. Imagine diving into the abyss, surrounded by darkness, when suddenly you see a massive tail slicing through the water with incredible power. That's the mosasaur known as Tylosaurus, an absolute apex predator of its time. This fearsome creature wasn't alone. Other formidable species like Hanosaurus and Mosasaurus also prowled the ancient seas, each adapted to dominate their aquatic realm. So here's the deal. These weren't fish or sharks. They were lizards that evolved into aquatic killers. They had jaws full of razor-sharp teeth and could open their mouths incredibly wide to swallow large prey whole. Picture it 50 feet long, weighing as much as 3 school buses combined. And every single one of them was at the top of the food chain in Cretaceous seas. But here's the twist. These weren't just any predators. They were apex hunters, the kings of the Cretaceous seas. And they didn't just eat fish. They feasted on everything in their path, including plesiosaurs and turtles. That's right, imagine a scene where one 50-foot mosasaur is hunting another smaller species like Platecarpus or Tylosaurus. You need to see this. Massive jaws lined with teeth capable of crushing bone like paper. Scientists estimate these mosasaurs had a bite force stronger than any living animal today. Picture these creatures gliding through the water, perfectly adapted predators striking at anything that dared cross their path. They ruled the Cretaceous seas, embodying the apex predator's lethal efficiency. And here's something you probably didn't know. These animals weren't just long and deadly, they were also incredibly fast. Their streamlined bodies allowed them to reach speeds of up to 25 miles per hour, making them the cheetahs of the ocean. Think about that. A creature as long as 2 school buses, moving through water with grace and power, was a formidable predator in its time. But wait, there's more. Mosasaurs had massive paddles that allowed them to navigate and turn with incredible agility. This adaptability made them formidable predators, able to outmaneuver most marine creatures in their environment. They were truly engineered for life as apex hunters in the Cretaceous seas. So here's a question for you. Can you imagine being one of these animals? Living your life constantly on edge, always watching for the next threat, always ready to strike. That's what it was like to be a mosasaur in the late Cretaceous ocean. They were not just predators. They were apex hunters that ruled their marine world, striking fear into the hearts of contemporary prey and competitors alike. And then, here's where things get really interesting. Mosasaurus hoffmanni took this whole thing to another level. Reaching up to 17 meters, 56 feet, in length, it had a massive skull with teeth that could easily crush through turtle shells. Though not quite as large as described, its formidable bite and robust build made it the apex predator of its marine ecosystem during the late Cretaceous period. But here's the kicker. Scientists used to think these animals lived alone as solitary hunters in the deep sea. However, new evidence suggests that mosasaurs might have been social creatures, living in groups and possibly hunting cooperatively. Imagine a pod of 50-foot giants working together to take down massive prey. It's like something out of your darkest nightmares. And that's not all. Recent studies suggest that some species had skin covered with osteoderms, bony armor plates growing right in their skin. Picture a mosasaur, already the size of an ocean liner like Mosasaurus hoffmanni, also armored up like a tank. This thing was not just a predator. It was nearly invincible in its marine ecosystem. But here's where it gets really scary. Imagine being one of these creatures as the world around them began to change. The sky grew dark, and the oceans turned acidic due to massive climatic shifts. Suddenly, their food sources started dwindling, and their habitats began shrinking. And then, bam, the asteroid hit. Everything they knew went up in flames. They were kings one day, and gone the next, signaling a dramatic end to the reign of the mosasaurs and other marine reptiles as the Cretaceous period came to an abrupt close. But here's what breaks me. Despite all that, scientists are still finding new species of mosasaurs, each more remarkable than the last. It's like every time we think we've seen it all, another piece of evidence pops up to remind us how little we truly know about these magnificent marine reptiles. And that's not even the strangest thing. Hold on, because what comes next is going to shake everything you thought you knew about mosasaurs. Recent evidence suggests some species had incredibly long necks, allowing them to reach out and grab prey from a distance, much like modern-day herons do with their heads in shallow waters. Imagine a 50-foot mosasaur stretching its serpentine neck to snatch a fish or outmaneuvering competitors for food resources. Here's the thing. These animals were so far ahead of everything else in the late Cretaceous ocean that it's mind-bending. Mosasaurs didn't just evolve. They exploded into existence and dominated their marine world for millions of years before being wiped off the map by a cataclysmic event beyond anything we can truly comprehend. And then, just when you think you've got your head around all this, one final revelation. There's no evidence to support the idea that mosasaurs had venom. Instead, these massive marine reptiles were formidable predators in their own right, capable of biting through bone with powerful jaws and sharp teeth. Imagine a Ture Chinese letter 50, Chinese letter 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 Chinese. So let me ask you again, can you picture these monsters in their element? The sheer scale, the power, the menace, it's overwhelming. But what's even more staggering is how much we still don't know about them. We're just scratching the surface of understanding these incredible beasts that ruled the seas during the late Cretaceous period, millions of years ago. And there it is, the final gut punch. While mosasaurs are long gone, their legacy lives on in our nightmares and in the fossils they left behind. Their story is a reminder of how fleeting dominance can be in this world, how quickly ecosystems can shift, leaving only traces of past rulers in the fossil record. Subject: the Cretaceous ocean ruled by 50-foot mosasaurs. You need to hear this one more time because it's that shocking. 50-foot-long mosasaurs ruling the oceans with power and grace, only to vanish abruptly at the end of the Cretaceous period. It's a tale of triumph and tragedy, wrapped into one captivating package. And now you know their story. You see why they're in the Extinction files. And here's the real kicker. Maybe someday we'll find out even more about these creatures. But until then, all we have are the bones that tell us just how incredible and formidable they were. So when you look up at the night sky and wonder what ancient secrets it holds, remember the mosasaurs. They're a reminder of the power and adaptability of nature, dominating the seas during the late Cretaceous period with their immense size and predatory prowess. Subject: the Cretaceous ocean ruled by 50-foot mosasaurs. And that's why they're in the Extinction files. Imagine swimming alongside these monsters. Picture yourself in an ocean where every shadow could be a 50-foot predator looming over you. The mosasaurs were the apex hunters, sleek and terrifying, with jaws full of razor-sharp teeth ready to snap at anything that dared cross their path. Mosasaurs like Tylosaurus prowled the late Cretaceous seas, reaching lengths up to 17 meters, 56 feet, dominating an aquatic realm teeming with diverse marine life. These beasts didn't just prey on fish. They hunted other marine reptiles, huge turtles, and even smaller mosasaur relatives. They were like underwater tanks, built for crushing bones and tearing flesh. And when you see a fossil of a mosasaur skull, it's not hard to imagine the terror that must have filled the hearts of their prey. But here's something wild. Scientists are still uncovering new species every year. Just a few decades ago, we thought there were only a handful of types of mosasaurs. Now, thanks to fresh discoveries, we know there could be dozens more waiting to be found. Each one adds another piece to the puzzle of how these marine giants dominated their world during the late Cretaceous period. And then, everything scientists thought they knew about mosasaurs fell apart. They used to think these creatures were slow and sluggish like modern crocodiles, but recent findings are painting a different picture. Some species, such as Tylosaurus, had flippers adapted for fast swimming, suggesting they could chase down prey with lightning speed. And that's not even the strangest thing. Recent evidence suggests that mosasaurs might have been warm-blooded, allowing them to be active hunters in cold ocean waters. What if I told you some mosasaurs grew osteoderms, bony armor plates embedded in their skin? These weren't just any bony plates. They were like natural bulletproof vests, protecting these predators from the dangers of their marine world. It's a mind-bending thought. Imagine being attacked by a 50-foot predator with reinforced scales, patrolling the Cretaceous oceans and ruling over other marine reptiles and fish. But here's where it gets even crazier. Scientists are finding evidence that some mosasaurs might have been warm-blooded. That means they could maintain a stable body temperature, giving them an edge in cold water and allowing for bursts of energy when chasing prey. This changes everything we thought about how these giants lived and thrived in the late Cretaceous oceans. And now imagine the scene. A 50-foot predator slicing through waves with its powerful tail, eyes scanning the depths for unsuspecting victims. This is Platecarpus, an underwater tyrant ruling entire marine ecosystems from atop the food chain during the late Cretaceous period. But then, boom! The non-avian dinosaurs disappear alongside these magnificent mosasaurs in a mass extinction event that marks the end of the Mesozoic era. And here's what breaks me. Think about all those mosasaurs, especially the young ones, that never got to see their full potential, snatched away by some cataclysmic event. Think of the stories they could have told if given more time. It's heartbreaking, really. So when you hear about these extinct giants, remember this. They were as close to real-life dragons as nature ever gets. Mosasaurs ruled their world with absolute authority, only to vanish without a trace. And that's why we're still obsessed with them today, because there's something truly humbling about creatures so powerful and mysterious. So next time you look out at the ocean, remember that during the late Cretaceous period, its waters were dominated by massive mosasaurs like Mosasaurus, reaching up to 17 meters in length. This serves as a reminder of how dramatically ecosystems can change over millions of years, and how much ancient life remains shrouded in mystery.